Hi, we're going to learn how to set up the emulator, and to do that I'm using a different Gmail account since I already have that. And what we do is we go over here and we say new project. We're just going to call this test, just to get over to our design screen. And we are going to open our blocks editor, and that opens with Java. If you haven't downloaded Java yet, I will include instructions at the end of this video on how to do that in a PowerPoint slide, so you can just pause it and jot them down. It is downloading and our blocks editor is open. I always resize this so that I can get to number one. I can go back to the design screen anytime by clicking on that tab, and also so I can get to the scroll bars and to the trash can, which is always in the bottom right hand corner. And that's when I figured out how to use this handy dandy little window to move around the map. And you can also zoom in and zoom out depending on how big your apps get with their coding blocks. Now we're going to put on a new emulator, and it takes a few minutes. I believe, yes, it is still working down here. You see, it is in its build mode, and the little droid guy is up telling us he's working. So while we're here, let's just go and we'll keep an eye on our build. Let's go through. We have definition blocks. These built-in procedures are definition blocks. You can this is where you define your variables. Here you left click once and it just brings it out automatically. You see that white boundary box? If you click in there, that's how you change its name. Okay, we'll change its name here. And so we also have names for the value if you need to use the actual value of change its name. We can just copy that and Control C, Control V, and it'll put that there. And we also have this little building block that we don't really need right now. And procedures. Procedures are sets of instructions that will perform it's a specific set of instructions. Like if you want to make one certain calculation that takes a couple of different mathematical expressions in it over and over and over again, then you want to call that procedure to be able to do it. And this is so you would you can define a procedure without a return variable, or you can have a return variable that goes elsewhere in the program. Now we can look at our in the text. We have built-in functions or procedures. When you call something, it's a procedure that can do all kinds of things. And the best place to learn about it is in the online documentation, which is found by going here to the Learn tab. Opens up a new tab, and you can learn about, go to the reference documentation. The components are all the items that are in the palette panel on the design screen. The blocks are all the items that are on the block screen. And concepts are just a little bit more information to help you learn the ways of programming, and more specifically the programming functions in App Inventor. So let's go back to our blocks editor. Let's check on our build, and we see we're up. This is our emulator. Text, just let me point out real quick, text is, that's you left click and pull it out. You can make text, and you use this a lot, and every time you like pull in another text, it'll give you another open socket to plug another piece of text in if you like. Okay, And you see by left clicking once when you're out in the blocks editor, you bring up the same sets of items that you have over here on the left. So under text you have make text, length, all kinds of items. Now under list, call make a list is very popular. You can add items to the list. Go to the documentation, like I said, for more information. Math, you have all your mathematical. If you just want a number, you use the number and you plug that in. Left click within the white boundary box and plug in your number that you wish to use. Oh, it's popping right back out because it's supposed to be text and it doesn't let you put numbers into text spots. The logic, you have your true, false, not, your equal to, and your ands and ors. Controls is where you get into your loops. And you also can get into some other items here. And then you have color. That's your basics. Let's put all these in the trash here. And we're going to download an already built app. I'm going to show you a website. There we go. This website has a lot of apps. They've been teaching this Intro to Computer Science course with, now they're uploaded onto the App Inventor site itself. Let's download the American flag app. You can do it by using putting your phone up and getting the barcode with a barcode scanner that you already have on your device, or you can go down here to the end and over here on the right you see that arrow. If you click on that, you can save the file, and then you go to your design screen and you go up to My Projects, look under More Options, and you upload source. And you go in, and it has to be the zip file. Now remember, the .apk files go to the device. The zip files are the ones that you want to be able to upload into App Inventor. So now let's look at this one. We just left clicked it once and it brings up that app onto our design screen. And you can see here how it's going to look on the device. You can see all the components they used over here in the component panel, and you also have the properties for whatever is selected at the time. And see, as we change selections here in the component panel, it changes properties. So the white space label is here. The button red has the red text here. The button, and etc. We also have a canvas element here. We can also click over here on the design screen itself of the device, and we click here and we have our canvas, and it is going to be red paint color, we see, and it's centered, it is showing, and they have it set at 300 pixels by 128 pixels. Now we also have a couple of non-visible components here. We have the clock, and we see that it always fires, and it has a timer interval of 1000, and that is in milliseconds, I believe. And we also have a notifier. Now if you want to know more about some of these, you can go over here. See, we have clock, and you can click on the question mark, and it brings up a help box. And if you still want to know more information, if you click that link, more information, it takes you to the reference documentation that you can otherwise get to by clicking on that Learn tab at the top of the design screen. This is also a way to get to the appropriate reference documentation that you desire to use, to read. There's our coffee cup. And We see that they're using the colors here. When the red button is clicked, they change the background color to red. And they have long clicks. They have when you go to a button and focus on it, the same thing. They're defining a variable over here. They have the clock timer enabled. Oh, pat the kitty. Okay, important tip here. What I have found out is that you need to connect to your emulator after you have designed your app. That's why the app we are working on is not showing up. So we are going to do a new emulator. It takes a few minutes, and then it shows green, and then it should automatically put our app on there. So as you develop, you're able to test each block too, by the way. You see it's still in build mode, so there, we click on the menu, and as our app is up, it says click on the first stripe, focus on the third, long click on the second. So we click on the first stripe and it turns red. There we go. And it fills it in for us, and we can click for the bottom part. It's just a little slow, but that is how you use the emulator.